There are many kinds of masters. There are many kinds of gurus. There are gurus who teach you how to go within to your energy centers. Those energy centers are 6 centers lying below the eyes. They are known as the 6 chakras or 6 energy centers. If you concentrate your attention on any one of those centers, you get different kind of wonderful experiences, including out-of-body experiences. But they do not give you any higher awareness. They will give you more energy. They'll give you energetic experiences. They do not increase your level of knowledge of who you are. They will give you more knowledge of what is around you, what is circulating around you, and what kind of energies are controlling your body, controlling your consciousness in this physical world. These 6 centers are called the centers of Pinda. Pinda, as you know, means the body, physical body. So these 6 centers control all our life in the physical world. From birth to death, these centers are controlling our life. And that is why they are very important for understanding anything about the energy circuits in the body in relation to the experiences outside. These centers are very valuable and important. So many of the yogis practicing concentration of attention within themselves have put their concentration on these 6 centers. Some of them have covered all the centers. Some of the yogis say you should cover all the centers, starting from the bottom, going up and reaching the 6th center behind the eyes. The eyes, they have compared these centers to lotus leaves of a plant. They call this 2 eyes, 2-petaled lotus. When we start any kind of meditation, I was mentioning to you the value of yogic exercises in which we can put our attention, concentrate our attention on the 6 centers of energy in the body called the centers of Pinda, of the physical body. They will give you information and give you knowledge, even a knowledge of what lies beyond this physical body, because the energy circuits go beyond this physical body. Therefore, you can have some very interesting non-physical experiences. And very often we think just by having a non-physical experience, we have reached a spiritual enlightenment. It is a sort of enlightenment because it is more than what we normally see with our physical eyes and physical ears, and we are now seeing something different. So therefore it looks very interesting and looks like enlightenment of some kind. But these centers deal with the energy. Energy is different from awareness. Awareness is to know more. Energy is to experience energy. There's a slight difference between the two. To get awareness, a higher awareness than we have as physical beings, we have to go beyond the Pinda, beyond the body. And that is to go directly to the astral body, to the Suksham Sharir, or the Sharir, the body in which these sense perceptions are themselves located. Instead of seeing them through the filter of the physical body, we can see them directly from our own sense perceptions, which are the astral body. So that is a much more valuable tool for gaining true knowledge of our own self beyond the physical. So that is sometimes referred to as Anda. Anda means egg. That means the origin. The origin of all physical experiences lies in the astral plane. Nothing exists in this physical plane, including our physical body, that does not have an origin in the astral plane. So astral plane is the originator of all our experiences. When you go to the astral plane of awareness and stay there, understand it, you find that it was a coarse, gross representation of what is lying in the astral plane. The finer things are there. For example, you have artificial light here to light this room. In the astral plane, you can go to the same room, it's lighted by itself. Human beings who are in astral form emit their own light. Just like some fish in the physical world at the bottom of the sea have their own light, Similarly, in the astral plane, everything has some illumination in it. It's a radiant form of life compared to the physical. Because that energy of the astral body is very different from the energy of the physical body. So there are separate 6 chakras to represent the astral system in our consciousness. And they can be accessed. They can be accessed by not going to the lower centers, but withdrawing attention behind the eyes. These are, when you sit vertically, these are located vertically below. Those are horizontal behind the eyes. So they are similar ones. Like we have the 4-petal lotus at the bottom, the rectum. We have the 6-petal lotus, 8, 12, 16, and then 2. Same pattern is followed in the astral cycle behind. When we withdraw our attention, however hard we may try, we try system of imagination, which you tried yesterday with me, and that also does not fully take us back. We are still thinking of these eyes. When we try to turn our head inside, the tendency is to turn this head also, because we do not disassociate ourselves from this body. So to start with the 2-petal lotus is common to both cycles. These 6 centers end with 2-petal lotus. Those 6 centers start with 2-petal lotus and go on to what is 16-petal lotus here. That becomes a 1,000-petal lotus at the same stage. The 1,000-petal lotus, which has been called Sahasrara Kamal, and the 1,000-petal lotus, has a reflection which reflects throughout the whole astral and physical body. So many people who want to associate that with the physical chakras, they call it the 7th center at the top of the head, because of the reflection of the 1,000-petal lotus throughout the system of the physical and astral bodies. So that is why that experience is a remarkable experience. Before that experience takes place, you go through a sky. Every level of experience creates a space, and that space creates a universe. If there is no space, there is no universe. Even the physical space is creating a physical universe. The astral space creates an astral universe. I drew some circles yesterday, and that represented how there is expansion of space at every level. And the expanded space where we are located, whether we are flying or on the surface, has a sky. The sky is uniquely different at every level. So you can't mistake that maybe you're having a dream, it looked like that. In the meditational practice, there is so much certainty about each level that you have no doubt where you are. If you are only having dreams and so on, you can have a doubt, was it a dream? Was it really any higher level of consciousness or not? But when you are actually at that higher level, beyond the overlap, there is no doubt left at all where you are. The sky is dimly lighted in the astral plane, always. There is no night as we know it here. The darkness and the light are co-mingled there in such a way that a grey sky exists all the time. Something very similar to the Pinda sky now, you see. And that is day and night, 24 hours. So everything is always lit up. And every object, every being, every person is lit up. So they emit their own light. They don't need any external light. Nothing can be seen in the physical world except by reflected light. Light has to fall upon an object. Light has to fall upon a person. Depending on the colors of the person or the object, it absorbs some colors, reflects the others, and we see that color. As I was mentioning to you, the experience of the genuine astral plane is remarkable. Before that happens, you pass through the sky, the same astral sky, and see the original sun and moon, stars. You discover that the planetary system here, which consists of billions of stars and billions of galaxies over here, originates from a primordial star, primordial system, galactic system, a primordial which exists in the astral plane. You can pass through it in your astral body. You can sit on the surface of those things. You can go through these. If you see a star in that level, you can race toward the star by practice and go right through it and open up another sky. It's amazing how so many skies can open up, even in the astral plane. That you go all through these, and you need not go. It's not necessary that everybody has to go. But you can. You can go through those experiences and go through the various stages, the 4-petal lotus there, till the 1,000-petal lotus comes, which is so bright. And just before that, you will, if you are initiated by a perfect living master, you will see the form of the master, of your guru, as you have seen him in the physical world. So, good recognition. After that, your form will change and guru's form will change. But you will know who are you and who are the guru, irrespective of change of forms. But at that stage, you recognize. And then you discover that this guru who initiated you has actually been with you all the time. But he was inside. And now you have discovered him inside. It does not mean that he has appeared at that time. He just appeared to you at that time. He's always been there from the time of initiation. That means when he decided to manifest himself inside you. This stage creates many kind of gurus. And those gurus have taken us to that form. Big, great spiritual leaders have come in the past, in whose name religions exist today. And you can see all those gods and goddesses whose names we are taking are all there in this plane. This plane looks like Sachkhanda, like our true home, compared to the physical. So most of those people think we have reached the end. It's the beginning of all creation. What else can there be? It is only a guru who goes beyond these things, who goes to the next level, where there are no forms. There are just patterns. And those patterns exist in a still higher form, where a new sky opens up. And that can only be done if you have a guru who has himself gone to that stage. If he hasn't, he will only take you to the astral stage and say, this is it. But that's a lot. Very few exist like that. Most of them give you easy, simple yogic exercises to strengthen your energy systems in the 6 centers. Here is somebody taking you to a new heaven altogether. All the heavens spoken of in all the scriptures of every religion exist there. All the hells exist there. They actually exist. You can go and see them. I know some people who made the mistake of going into hell there. And one can, even without the help of a guru, if he has a previous background of spiritual knowledge in a previous life, can go there on one's own without a guru. Beyond that, it's not possible. Because this is the beginning of heaven, and therefore it's the end of heavens. Therefore, how can you have anything more than that? But a guru who takes you to the ultimate state of a universal mind, where you find that we were thinking, we are all separate thinking beings, and we are all drawing our thoughts from one place, which is the causal plane, Karan Sharir. That Karan Sharir of ours, which has another set of 6 centers like that. Those centers, 3 of them lie within reach of the sky, 3 lie even beyond. There are 2 parts of that. These 6 centers, the final 18th center occurs inside, beyond these. Those who can reach the 18th center have crossed the mind. Those who have reached the 15th center have reached the ultimate state of the mind, where there is only one mind, universal mind. They are great experiences which you cannot imagine here, that we are all discussing with each other, talking to each other. Our minds are individuated here completely. There we find the source for all thoughts was one. That is why most of the advanced gurus have said that is the end, because you reach your universality. It's only one. But they don't say one soul, one mind. They say one mind soul, clubbed together. And therefore, that's the end. So there are gurus who will take you there, and they will initiate you and say, this is the final stage. You got moksha. You have reached the ultimate Om, which is this resonance of that place. Each place has a separate resonance, and therefore they say, this is it. And you will believe it, because there's nothing to compare with. You are comparing it with the physical and astral planes. That sky of the causal plane is an orange-red color. If you have seen a sunset, when the sun sets, becomes big, the sun on the setting sun, it becomes easy to see it. It's too hot and too bright in the top, but when it's setting, it becomes golden colored and is just setting, it becomes a little bigger. Supposing you stretch that sun over the whole sky, that's what the Brahmanda sky of the causal plane of Karan Sharir is visible. You can identify it. It's a different kind of sky. That whole universe of patterns where they are coming from is colored like that. So there is a distinction. There is a different kind of sound, different kind of color, and all causes of all things, astral and physical, exist there. That is where they say that Akash, that sky, contains all records. They talk of Akashic records, that there is a storage in the Akash, in the sky. What does it contain, the sky? All possible destinies that we can have in the astral and physical plane. We say we are born with our prarabdha, we are born with this, tomorrow we'll do this, whether we have free will or not. Everything is predetermined, packed, ready like a DVD out there. When we, as Atma, as soul, descend into creation, and that's the beginning of creation, descend into that, we pick up ourselves, one of the DVDs, and play it along in the astral and physical planes for millions of years after that. We get trapped by the attractions of this created world to such an extent, we never go back there from where we picked up our DVDs, our fate capsules, the capsules which contained the entire program. How many lives does it contain? One life. It can't contain everything, and we don't come and live everything. We live one life. Even when we come from the causal Karan Sharir, from the Karan state, from the causal state, to the physical, and are born as a human being, this is a very, very rare thing to happen. Because in a human being alone, we have this feeling that we can make a decision and we have experience of free will. In no other form. Neither in the astral plane, nor in the causal plane. You have too much knowledge there. Here ignorance creates free will. We don't know what is going to happen in the next minute, so we think we can decide. We don't know which course to take, and our mind says you can take this or that, therefore we are free. So this sense of freedom, the sense of having a free will, only occurs in the human being in the physical world, nowhere else. Some people have said the human being is next to the God himself. They say man has been made in the image of the Creator. It doesn't mean that his Creator has face and eyes and all that. He's just a power. His power of consciousness. What is similar to it is that the Creator has total free will to create any show, and we feel we have free will, therefore we are similar. So that is why that universal mind state is considered to be the origin of everything, all our destinies, all forms of life, which are 8.4 million registered, out of which more than half, 5.4, is in plant kingdom alone. And so you can see human beings come in the last category listed of 400,000 species. One is human being. It includes angels and gods and everybody in that one list. So all the forms of creation are originating in the causal plane. How can one imagine there is anything more than that? Nobody can, even going there, even disciples of perfect living masters, think this is the end of it. It's the universality of all thoughts, of everything. And yet that is not our true home. Only those who have gone beyond that, those are called perfect living masters. Those who have gone beyond the universal mind and into regions of pure soul, where there's nothing, that's spiritual region. The spirit is the name of the soul, not of the mind. The mind's stages stop at the causal region. Above that, there are two types of gurus who go beyond. Some are called Sadgurus and some are called Satgurus. The difference between a Sadguru and a Satguru is a Sadguru has crossed the mind, reached the state, discovered what a soul is, what Atma is, but you're not merged in it. To merge in that, you go beyond to the true home where there is nothing but one. And you merge in one, become one with everything. That is Satguru. And therefore, the terminology used is that you go from the physical plane, Pinda, to Anda, to Brahmanda, and Brahmand then goes on beyond the mind to Parbrahm. Parbrahm is the stage where Sadgurus take us. Then beyond Parbrahm is the origin of that which we can't imagine where it came from. The negativity, for example. Time, for example. The traps here. Where did they come from? When we are going continuously higher and higher and understanding more of the true nature of creation, how come, where does negativity come from in the lower regions? Where do hells come from? There has to be some origin beyond the mind which creates these. Above Parbrahm and between our true home, Sachkhand and Parbrahm, lies the area from where negativity originates. And that is a darkness of a kind which you can't find anywhere. After all the lights, after all brightness, we still pass through a darkness, which is the origin of darkness and negativity here. And it is like a dark cave. Even the soul at that time, crossing that, has the light of 16 of these physical suns. That's the light. It's too dark for this light to cross through. And the biggest difficulty is that darkness is not steady. This is just a little metaphorical thing I'm telling. The darkness is not steady. It is revolving. In Indian literature, we call it Bhamar Kufa. Like it's a huge cave, and it's in the Bhamar, it's going on, whirling, the whirling cave. That it's whirling. Therefore, you enter hoping, okay, I'll shoot through. These are physical examples given of a thing that is not physically describable. That we shoot through and come out same place where we entered. Because it was whirling and we don't know where it enters and where it ends. It is only the light of a Sant Satguru, perfect living master, who has at that time the awareness and knowledge, consciousness of the true home carrying with him, that we can cross through that. That cannot be crossed by a Sadguru, cannot be crossed by any of the other gurus that I have been talking about. Those are very, very rare. You can count at any time, even there, most of them. In Kali Yuga, we have more than in other ages. And even then, you can count them on the fingers of your two hands at any time. There never have been so many. But they are there for those who seek to go to the true home. It depends on the seeker. These saints, perfect saints like these, do not come for themselves. They come in response to the call of the seeker, who says, I want to go home. Who are these seekers who say, I want to go home? In a story form, it is told that there are so many souls in our true home, collectively one soul, and at the same time many, where the one and the many become the same thing. These many souls were all in a whirlwind of joy, living in their own true consciousness of love and intuition, knowledge, everything was there with them. And then some of them wanted to have an adventure and said, let's go out for an adventure into new creations. Consciousness can create anything. So we created levels of experiences, one after the other, right up to the physical level. And so many souls who wanted to go to negative experiences so that we can come back and compare with the positive, they came for a little adventure. Can you imagine we sitting here all came for adventure? How we got trapped here? We came to attend a carnival, to see a show and go back home. And we got caught up and think this is our place. That we are now trying to acquire things which are meant only for use and for experience, and then we move on. We move on anyway. In the physical body, nobody stays forever. Astral body, nobody stays forever. Causal body, nobody stays forever. The only immortal thing which never changes is the soul, the Atma. That never is immortal. The only immortal thing is the Atma. None of these other things are there. They all disappear. And all this show, big show of creation, of Pinda, and Brahmanda, all this dissolves from time to time. In Pralaya, dissolution, the astral and the physical planes are finished. In Mahapralaya, grand dissolution, everything disappears except the top part of Parbrahm and our Sachkhand true home. Everything else disappears and comes again. This show has been repeated millions of times. It's a continuous thing. Creation, creator is a continuous thing now. So, therefore, the perfect living masters who take us to our true home are indeed very few.